It's going to start with what we call the helicopter view, just to give you a feeling for how it lays out. So we're just going to see it from overhead, and you obviously can see that first what exists. We're moving towards the sanctuary. And Mackenzie, if you can just pause here for 1/2 a second. I don't know if, can people see my arrow? I don't know. But in the middle, yeah, that's it. In the middle is going to be a beautiful plaza. What we have here is not how it's going to be landscaped. We have landscape architects, and this is going to be a beautiful space. We're going to come into it on this animation, but what this is going to be, we've looked at this entire campus as what are the various ways people want to use a synagogue. And one of it is just to be able to gather informally. And this is going to be a beautiful place. It will have benches to sit, it'll have trees, it'll have shade, and it's large. It's a large plaza, and it links together our old building and our new building on the outside. Okay, we can keep going. This is a new road parallel to Shaker Boulevard, and will be the entrance to our new building. We're going to just take a cursory look at it now as we move. And this is our new room, our new community hall. Now they're going to take us in the way we're used to going in. So you're going to get a feeling of how it's being changed. It feels familiar, doesn't it? In a couple of weeks, you can walk in. They're going to take us by the sanctuary. By the way, we're going to have some new seating, comfortable seating. By the sanctuary into what has been the men's club, our board room. This is going to become a chapel. This chapel has been named by a family in the congregation. And this is going to be a beautiful small chapel. Pausing just a second to look at the art that the architects have designed, which I think is a beautiful complement to a small space. This will hold about 70 people, so it'll be lovely. And we can always add chairs because that's what we do. We always add chairs. But this will be a lovely, intimate space for small services, for maybe morning minyan. And yet the walls can still be opened up should we be having a large service to incorporate our chapel into our sanctuary. You can keep moving. The lectern you see is our bima lectern. We don't have a raised bima here. This is a small, intimate room for an intimate experience, but you can see how the light comes in. A lot of people have asked about lighting in this building. The architects have done a lot of lighting studies so that in any room we're in, there has been some assessment of how light will hit your eyes and how light will affect the overall room. And we wanted the bima, the arc to be light and airy as the room is. We can keep going. Rabbi, jump in if I've blown anything here. Keep going.
No, you're good.
Now we're moving into the sanctuary. This looks so far like you're used to seeing it look. And one of the things you can't see in this is we are enlarging the bima and reorienting the bima. Reorienting the bima so that, as you can see, this room has been opened up. Now we can give a pause. This is our expanded sanctuary. And it actually won't have this many fixed seats. The one column you see, first of all, you can see a couple of columns are missing, but that column you see, the big one in front, that won't be there. And the roof lines, we had to keep some columns because we have to hold up the roof, but which I feel it would be something everybody would want. But there is continuity in the roof. So you will never feel like you're sitting and watching other people watching a service, which I know in the social hall, you're part of it, but you're not part of it. This way, you can be part of it. When this room is filled with our temporary seating and when the chapel walls are open, we can seat close to 500 people in this space. But we didn't want to give up the feeling of intimacy that we've had in the smaller space. So that's why there are less fixed seats. There are about 315 fixed seats. So we can have a Saturday morning service and the room will feel filled and yet intimate. And our goal is, how can we make it work many different ways. And you'll see as we go through this, that's been our thought all the way along. We can keep going. I've never done this when people haven't interrupted me, so I feel like somebody should interrupt me, but you can all ask me questions later. And now as we go out, we're going to turn left toward the school wing. But what you're going to see is a new space as you enter to get to the new building. This is our gallery. The family has donated this gallery, and we will be displaying art. We'll bring stuff with us from Park Maine, and we will have new art. And this is really a central space because this gallery, which will be lit, leads us into the plaza foyer. And this is the nexus. We can stop for 1 second. This is sort of the nexus of both buildings. If you turn right, you're going to go into our addition. Back where we came from, you're going to go to the old building. And when you come from the outside, should you want to go through the plaza, there's a way to come right into the plaza foyer. They are going to do a little weird thing here with this animation because we're all of a sudden going to turn around and come in the new entrance. So we're going to meet back at the plaza foyer, but we're going to come into the new entrance. If you look at this, you can see that when you get dropped off here, and there will be a drop off, this road will be large, it will be covered. And we learn from our past. And here we are walking into the new room. Stop for 1 second. This is a large glass veranda. And you can see up above, that can come down and divide the space into 2 rooms. So you could have a meeting, you could have a luncheon for small, or this can accommodate a very large group of people. If you were having a function in the community hall, our Lois and Larry Davis Community Hall, which is to the left, this can be a pre-function area that can hold 300 people. Plus, it can spill into the outside, as you'll see. And at the very end of this, if you look, there's a group of chairs. We look at that as a family seating area where people can just sit and be together. And you'll notice that everything is windows because we're Clevelanders and we crave light. And this means even in our gray days, this room will be bathed in light. Okay, we can keep going. So you're seeing sort of the undivided space. And now they're going to take us outside to our going to be much better landscaped, beautiful plaza. And you can see we're going to have a wall that's going to be a decorative item of some sort at the back. And that screen, which protects us from the street in terms of screening, is really a design screen. I think you can all see the Stars of David on it. So we will have a view of that as well. Keep going. And now you're going to see the unique features of the part of this veranda that opens to the outside. And if you just pause for half a second here, this is our indoor-outdoor room. And we can hold a service here. You could be having a function, and people who want to be out of the sun can be inside. Anybody who's ever planned a wedding and worries about tents and rain and what happens, we have a permanently enclosed space that is both indoors and outdoors. The doors, the glass doors they fold out into the wall. And I consider this an incredibly unique space. I think if I had to give a wedding again, which I don't, I would be so delighted to have a wedding in this beautiful space. Okay, we can keep going. I think they're going to take us into, done this enough times so that I'm fairly confident that they're going to take us into our new community hall. The one difference that you might see is as you come in, those are the doors. We're going to go in through the doors. This is going to be set up for service because our community hall can be used for both services and events. And you can see as you come in, there's a wall of windows, and then there's clear story around. So this room should be bathed in light. There's only one wall that isn't going to have that clear story, and that's the wall that faces out onto the veranda. So on 3 sides, there'll be light, and on one, there'll be a wall of windows. It will be landscaped so that we will have some of that feeling of seasonality we had in Cleveland Heights, where you look outside and you are able to see at the high holidays, when they're not in summer, fall beginning. All of our holidays marked by our connection to the outside, we're actually going to be able to see when they're in this room. There are many seats on the floor, but we've been working so closely with the architects on a retractable seating system. You're going to see that. We can keep going. See, they're talking. They're not as religious as you would like them, Rabbi Scott. We wouldn't do that to him. I just want to give you a feel for how this room, see, on his phone. Now, the way these seats work, people have been concerned. Stop for 1 second and feature the back window wall. Just put your arrow up there. One of the things we're doing with that back window wall is we're bringing the agam panels and putting them along the back window wall. That's an emotional attachment that many, many people remember their kids playing with them, but that it just as our gallery is sort of the same, a bridge, this is a bridge of memory, and that we'll be bringing many things from the Cleveland Heights campus that are referential, including doing a great deal with our history that's going to be accessible and visual in our lobby. But these seats, we have sat in 3 different companies. They all are making them really custom to our needs so that we can get up, stand down, have a place for our prayer books, have a place for our talit. People can walk by each other. And what you can't see in this is behind the seating, there's a hallway, so that should you be on one side and have to leave or get to the other, you don't have to walk right in front of the whole congregation. One of the things I really like about this is, for what I will assume is the younger people sitting in the back row, unlike the back of Rosenthal, you really have a good view. This room with all the seats can seat close to 800 people. So it's a big room. And it means that between our main sanctuary and this room on services, we can accommodate around 1,300 people. Okay, keep going. This is a real quick view of when it's set up for a party. You can see there's a dance floor in the middle, an undecorated room. They did not have a party planner. And they don't look actually to be eating food, but the kitchen's going to be remodeled and expanded, and the service corridor from the kitchen is going to be altered so that it's going to be easy access into this room. And it's, I think, going to be a beautiful place for the party. They're working on the lighting. The GOM windows will be in there. I've neglected to say that the ark will be built into the wall, and we will have a portable bima, so that should we use this for a service, we will have the feeling of a sanctuary. Keep going. And that is our animation. What it doesn't show is the parking. There's new parking northeast of our building. There's handicap parking nearby. You'll be able to get to both lots by going in if you come in from Brainerd. We're doing a traffic study. You know that Pepper Pike has given us their blessing, and we are really, really at this point ready to go. What I'd like to say before we start our video presentation is we are doing so much to bring our past with us as we create something new. And I feel like that's so much like we all live our lives. We all have such affectionate feeling from our growing up, our pasts. But what from generation to generation really means not that we do it exactly the same, but that what is essential, we give to the next generation. And we really are planning to do this in this building. We've listened to all of you. If you have more comments, send them. The architects listen to everything. We really hope that as we move and we bring each other with us, it's really how we look at home. Home is really where we are. And I'm really looking forward to being in our new place with all of you.